Hello, everybody, and welcome to this evening's talk on one of my absolute favorite subjects, spring cleaning your environment. Now, it's the perfect time to get started in these cleansing principles, particularly with the change of season. So, we have an opportunity, well, 4 times a year, but particularly when we're really going through a big shift in season coming from the winter time, which is more inward, more restorative. We're spending more times in our home. We're really needing a lot of warming energy to, as nature really shows us, it's the seedlings ready to grow and to renew. And there's this extra energy, this extra zing. But since we have been in the winter months, we have accumulated a lot of maybe sludge, made it a bit more comfortable, done less movement. So we really want to be changing our environment. We've been more inside, so there has been an accumulation of environmental toxins maybe inside. We want to prepare our bodies, particularly our limb system, every single system in our bodies. One of the biggest impacts, concerns affecting our health, really, our energy, our sleep, and our hormones, is environmental toxins. And so many of the hundreds to thousands of chemical toxins didn't exist prior to the 21st century. So our grandparents, even our parents, they faced their own stresses, obviously, but didn't nearly come into contact with the increase of chemicals, heavy metals, radiation, EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies, and pollution that we really do encounter today. Although our bodies are so incredible, they do have an innate capacity to detoxify itself. We are unfortunately exposed to a level of consumer agricultural industrial toxins that the human organism hasn't evolved quickly enough to handle. So that's why we're experiencing this chronic low level exposures that build up in our bodies over time. And they produce these subtler, more pervasive symptoms. Like, you know that there's something going on, you'll go to your doctor, but there's no solution. So, what is happening is there's the accumulation, and it happens over many, many years until one day you might get a virus, or one day you might have a huge stressor, and that's what takes you out. But you don't know that the root cause was this accumulation of your liver wasn't able to remove the plastics or hormones efficiently enough. So disease doesn't happen overnight. It's an accumulation of 5, 10, 15, 20 years of these behaviors. So this absolutely is not to overwhelm you. It's to empower you that we can make some small adjustments. And now, the perfect time to get started. So, if you don't know me, my name's Natalie Smythe. I'm a qualified nutritionist, naturopath, yoga, and meditation practitioner. And the reason why I utilize meditation practices is because we often know what we need to do, right? We know we need to change our diet, or we know we need to do movement, but compliance, ease, you know, well-being, or the simple things aren't sexy. We really need to really change our mindset and make small choices, small actions to create habits, right? 21 days it takes to create a habit. So all of the things that I'm going to be talking you through are really, I just want you to take away 3 small changes. I'm going to try to keep it simple because I know I get excited, I can share too much. I want you to take 3 things that you can take away with to implement over the next 21 days. So we're going to cover common toxins and how they impact you, practical tips that you can take away, some eco-friendly nutrition and sustainable lifestyle choices. As I mentioned, I want to caveat that this is no means supposed to create any fear in you. It's just to empower you to make small incremental changes. So, optimizing our biology and allowing your body to be efficient to expel toxins and anything that you come into in your daily life with to create vitality. I want you to be waking up with vitality. That's the key. So, the body is always trying to heal itself. All forms of disease are due to the same cause, the accumulation, buildup of waste material. Emotional and worry are toxicants too, the way we think. Excess and neglect and overwork. Your detoxification organs, your systems of elimination is your kidneys, liver, lung, skin, and bowel. And when they become a congested all at once too, because it's layer upon layer. Acute conditions can manifest. And an acute condition would be maybe frequency of colds too. That's a symptom, that could be a sign. Frequency, if you get the odd cold, that's just a sign to relax and rest. But if, for example, you're getting that cold and you are taking some drugs and pushing it down, so trying to get on with work, that would go deeper into your system. So you would get a fever, or maybe then it goes into your lung. Disease is the Western form of meditation because it's really the only time that we stop, right? And skin eruptions, they're a sign of your skin or inside telling you we need to release something. So I just explained the 5 eliminations organs. So your lungs, breathing is a great way to expel what's going on inside. Your kidneys obviously are always trying to find balance, but your kidneys are your most sensitive organ, so we have to be really careful with them. We really want to be going to our colon first and seeing what's happening in our digestive tract. And obviously your skin is your biggest organ. So it's so important what we put onto our skin. Many health problems are just ill health dysfunction and deteriorating of age, allergies, immune impairment, autoimmune diseases. So when all of these systems are blocked and we're not paying attention to them, that is when chronic disease. And that's something that preventative medicine works at. Nutrition, lifestyle medicine is where we want to prevent chronic disease, right? Because that, unfortunately, not what the acute medical model is really good at. So acute medical model is saves our lives, and I'm so grateful for it. But we really want to be preventing, doing all of these things so we can utilize the acute care model when we really need it. So one of the big ones here, particularly with women, is the endocrine disrupting chemicals. They're called EDCs. They really are ubiquitous in the environment now, and there is more and more information coming out in news too. They're called endocrine disruptors, and what they do is they mimic your hormones in your body. That's why we're seeing big problems with hormone dysfunction, hormone irregularities, and they really go deep into our tissues, into our hormone tissue. So things like phthalates, plastics, surfactants. So surfactants you wouldn't realize in your home is that they do protect you from a fire, but it's what's on all of your sofas and things. Obviously, medications, antibiotics, and products that they put in animal products, as well as be careful with soy as well, so your food. And in here, it's really important, particularly for women, is that the thyroid health is affected by toxin stress and inflammation. And this is so important for women, particularly. It modulates once our thyroid, our metabolism and things, and it's so sensitive. It can really be affected by these plastics, pollution in particular, cadmium. If you do live in London like me, or you do live in a city, then there's cadmium in our pollution. So if you're a cyclist like me, I've done my heavy metals and I had a lot of cadmium in my body. But a great way to remove that is going into a sauna, doing sauna therapy, which I very much advocate. It's really important if you don't have high blood pressure and you don't have any problems there. So obviously, the normal ones, but particularly with our diet, particularly when it comes to our thyroid, our soil, unfortunately, is really depleted in zinc, which is a mineral. So it's really important to top that up through your pumpkin seed and oysters if you can tolerate oysters. But then you'll really want to be focus on seaweed, because seaweed, particularly if you are living on an island like England or anywhere in Europe, traditionally seaweed would have been part of your diet, and it's so important to protect your thyroid for that conversion of hormones. So I would always suggest just really incorporating seaweed in our diet, since I mentioned our soils are depleted. No overwhelm here, but I just want to show you, like, we're all going to be in a different journey in our cleansing journey and the use of products and where we are. So this is just a really nice one to maybe put up and look at over the year, and maybe each month focus on removing like 1 or 3 of these things. So again, there is a lot here, but it's amazing, particularly my journey has been over of years, and each Yeah, probably every 6 months, I'll say, "Okay, right, really need to tackle this one." But I would say probably, one of the biggest ones to really focus on for women too is your cookware. Really change all of your pans, so stainless steel or cast iron pans, remove all Teflon because everything that you cook in you'll interfere your food. And then I would say going to the bathroom is feminine hygiene products, tampons, pads, all of the ones and have plastics in them. So you can get some really great organic cotton products now on the market. There's a lot more than there used to be. And then removing dust. I would and then looking at maybe perhaps how you wash your clothes. There's just some really nice eco easy ones, like you don't have to make your own. Again, not to overwhelm, but maybe set yourself a challenge to look at what you could change within the next 6 months. So yeah, again, we're talking about small changes in habits that we can make. So first, in the springtime, it's the perfect time to spring clean your home. So one of the first things I would always suggest is to get you in that mood of cleansing emotionally is looking at your wardrobe. One of my teachers said recently, if you look into your wardrobe and any piece in there is not the person that you want to become, remove it. And I thought that was quite pregnant because I hold on to a lot of things out of comfortability or whatever. But anyway, going back to your home, so your living environment. So unfortunately, household dust is a mixture of so many different particles that do carry pollutants and waste from the outside world. And we're at home a lot of the time or in a work environment. So we really want to be hoovering at least once a week to get rid of this dust. And your hoover, you would at least want to have a HEPA filter in there. And I think most modern ones do now. Easy and incredible that you can do is just wet dusting. So you're getting a microcloth, wetting it, and then just getting rid of the dust too. So just that action and it can just help with your breathing capacity, what you breathe into your lungs, because what you breathe in, that pollution sticks to your lungs, takes a long time to get out. So I would say that would change your life, your skin health. That would change a lot. And so again, not wanting to overwhelm you, but just showing you all of the different chemicals that are in your home. So just being aware of that. But if I was to highlight something to make a huge change, it's just being aware of fragrance because fragrance is a blanket term for 300 different chemicals. So there's no regulations on that word. So really being careful on that. Even with green washing, a lot of the green products will say fragrance, which usually they're not an organic choice, that's for sure. Radiation emitted from computers can change your thyroid hormones. Again, we all have to work, right? We're at our laptop. So I am working at my laptop for about 9 hours a day. For if I was working at my computer 6, 7 days a week, and in the evenings, I might want to wear a scarf just to protect that and making sure that you're having breaks and then wearing the blue blocking glasses, so those yellow glasses, they've seen a great benefit for sleep as well, regulating your melatonin because your melatonin hormone protects you from autoimmune diseases. And we know that women are more affected by autoimmune diseases. So that creates this cascade that we're experiencing with fertility and hormone fluctuations. So I just wanted to throw that in just in case you are someone that works a lot or you do have thyroid low or high thyroid complications. Be aware. Kitchen. So I mentioned it earlier. This is one hack that I definitely would do. And I love this girl. She's on Instagram, Grateful Health. She does these, she's a doctor. She creates these great little memes. So just really avoiding the pans. What you can see is the breakdown of the microplastics, and the microplastics stay inside our bodies in our fatty tissues as well. And so when we have toxins in our fatty tissues, that takes a really, really long time to get out of the system. We really want to prevent as much as possible. Because if you do have a family history of these disorders, it's not great. And then the kitchen swaps as well. And I would always say that water is really important to swap as much as you can. I know a lot of the water filters are really expensive, but just seeing what you can do for yourself. This brand here, the True, I think that's about £300 and that filters all of your water. because, we have tap water. First of all, we have the taps that, like, maybe 100 years old with lead, etc. We don't want that in our system. There's so many contaminants now. We know that we have concentrations of xenoestrogens in our water too. So just trying best where you can to check your water source. Like I mentioned, your skin is your largest organ and it absorbs everything that you put on it. So I mentioned the feminine hair products. So just things like your oil that you put on your body, because massage in the morning or the way that you touch yourself, give yourself oxytocin, actually changes your microbiome, how you digest food. So important that how that level of defense that you're massaging your body with really transfers into your bloodstream. So just things like coconut oil or sesame oil, and sometimes you can find them too greasy, but there's things like jojoba oil or shea butter. And then the EWG app, the Environmental Working Group app, you can scan all of your products on there and it will rate like a traffic light system what can cause harm or not for your body. So that's a really good one too. But again, just starting small. I hate waste. So if you just bought some products and just enjoy the product, but then if you're looking to buy a new product, just then start deciphering. And we're so lucky now. There's so many great products everywhere. So I've mentioned the 5 systems of elimination, and I've mentioned that we just want to really start small. The ways that you can detoxify your lungs is diaphragmatic breathing, right? In our modern world, we don't actually utilize our diaphragm because we're sitting at our desk. How are you breathing? If you put your left hand over your chest and your right hand down by your belly, your diaphragm, if you breathe in, where do you breathe in first? Are you lifting your chest? Or are you breathing deep into your belly? We don't want our chest to move whatsoever. We want to breathe in through our diaphragm, and it really changes our tune and the way that we express in the world too. Diaphragmatic breathing increases our parasympathetic nervous system. So how we deal with stress, how our cortisol rises, and that just that action is really important. For your kidneys, making sure that you're drinking plenty of water, but going back to the quality of water, and also how is your water hydrating you? How is your water hydrating your cellular fluid? And so just by putting things like Himalayan salt or Celtic sea salt, not table salt, that has all of your electrolytes in it too. So you would really want to try rebalancing your water. So that's a good one, because sometimes you could drink like 2 liters of water and not feel satiated or hydrated. It could be because of this electrolyte imbalance. So try that tip of the water. Skin is sweating every day. So the best time to sweat is in the morning. Within half an hour to an hour of waking is when your cortisol is at its highest. So we want to use cortisol, otherwise we store cortisol. So that's really important, getting a little bit of a sweat on. And then I love my dry brushing for your lymphatic system. So starting from your feet, brushing up on your long limbs, circles around your knees and your elbows, and then all the way working up to your heart. And then the colon fiber. Our colon, it starts from our mouth. So we really want to be making sure that our fiber is moving everything along. So we're excreting after every meal is so important. If you're not excreting every day, then you do have constipation, and then that builds up. So we want to get it out. Your liver. And so we can do this through nutrient-dense food, which I'll talk about now. So a lack of exercise also leads to mitochondrial deactivation. So we really want our mitochondria is like our powerhouse. It's like our battery. So we always want to be making sure that that's sufficient enough to. I mentioned saunas earlier for the skin. If you have access to a sauna, you can go whenever is easy for you. I would always suggest that. So again, I'm keeping this really simple and top level because I know I can share too much. So to reduce toxin intake, right? We want the balance. We want to reduce whilst we're also decreasing as well. So reduce toxin intake. So eating organic grown foods as much as possible. Water, we've spoken about really increasing the high fiber foods. Cruciferous vegetables are so important because they are high in sulfur and they are sulforaphane, which really activates the liver too. And then maybe speak to your practitioner about allergies if you're experiencing any symptoms. So the highlight food here I want to point out, particularly for our liver, they're functional foods, is broccoli sprouts. I buy a tub of broccoli sprouts a week and then just have a tablespoon once a day, sprinkle it on your breakfast, your eggs, and don't ruin your smoothie because it's quite bitter. So you want that bitter foods, and that activates your liver more so than regular broccoli. You can also make it yourself. Green tea supports liver detoxification and binds these plastics in fish as well. So that's quite important. Kimchi is a Korean fermented food. So that has been shown in studies to reduce absorption of BPAs that we find in plastic water bottles. Just note, kimchi is very acidic, as is tomatoes. So you want to make sure that you purchase it in a glass bottle over a plastic bottle. So that would be the same with your tomato sauces. These nutrients, quercetin, polyphenols, these are just so important and protecting our liver, our brain, our whole system, help with our microbiome support as well. And then curcumin, the essential ingredient in turmeric, really helps with protecting phase 2 of our liver as well. Also, these ingredients really protect us from everything found in the environment, pollution and air that we breathe too. So really important. And then again, I just wanted to highlight a couple of more nutrients too. So dandelion root helps cleanse the liver cells of toxin and stimulates that bile. We really want our bile to be nice and strong and efficient. Burdock root it's found in Europe and the UK. Really safe. You can have it as a tea, but it is found in supplement formulas. And this is really great for the skin. So it really acts as a blood cleanser too if you've got any skin breakouts. Magnesium, I always go to magnesium. I don't think it's here, but it produces ATP. It's a part of every cell. If we're deficient in magnesium, our cells aren't going to be efficient enough. Vitamin C is again so important. It's water soluble. It protects us from pollution, radiation. Milk thistle prevents the depletion of glutathione. Glutathione is your master antioxidant that unfortunately depletes with age. So if you're drinking alcohol, it can protect you from that too. It's not super, super strong. It's not a huge cleanser or detoxifier, but it's a protector. And then I would say extra support. So really looking at your emotions. Our toxic emotions add to the body's toxic burden. So a really nice thing to do is to start tracking your emotions on a daily basis. Then focus on the positive ones too. Can you sit in the expression of your positive emotions? Or you can really find the beauty in the everyday moments. And particularly when you are doing a cleanse, interestingly, a lot of anger can come up. You want to really go into that anger and find the root cause of it, so not suppress it, so it doesn't keep showing up in your life, or you don't keep suppressing it. So if you are going to do a little cleanse, really start tracking what arises as well. Are you ready to give attention to one of the organs that commands so much activity in your body, the mighty liver? So I love my liver, which is the commander of my inner resources for removing toxin. I think that's a really nice intention to do at the beginning of if you are going to do a little seasonal cleanse or just have a little day of just eating those things, having lighter foods. So the liver is really the general army of your inner army of your lipids, your immune cells, your bile, and it keeps everything going, purified, fortified. It does so much. It's also an organ of regeneration, life force, your chi. And when it's blocked or stagnant through the inactivity of these high lipids that it needs to push through, it will let you know. It will become irritated. So we don't want to get things like fatty liver that are coming up now in non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So it really is, it's a physical and an emotional organ. I want you to keep your liver happy and healthy here. And please type into the chat as well what your 3 takeaways are. I hope I didn't overwhelm you with information here. Take care.